What's up? Welcome back and welcome to 2024's BooBash. It's been a hot minute, I recognize. I've got some new guests. I've got Mochi and Sushi, and today is kickoff day. I'm so excited. So I'm going to be kind of recapping my last year and a half or so, 2 years, talking about what's on the game plan for BooBash this year. So if you guys want to know where I've been, what's been going on, all that stuff, just keep watching. So she's trying to hit the camera. Okay, so I know it's been a minute. I've got little Miss Sushi here with me. If you guys have followed over on Instagram, you guys know we adopted these two back in February, and she's trying to knock over the camera. You know, I'm telling you, life with kittens is crazy. I'm excited though, because they'll be 1 year old next year, and I absolutely love them. But they're in that kitten exploration, absolute chaos phase. And so where I have my camera propped up, Sushi thinks it's her new toy. Anyhow, it has just been a wild last 2 years. When I was prepping for this video, I actually was writing down everything that had gone on in the last couple of years. And I'm looking and I'm going, holy crap, no wonder I checked out. So it has been, you know, I was looking back through my YouTube channel, and I finished BooBash in 2022, and I got about like 5-6 videos into Holiday Hoopla in December, and then I just went MIA. And I apologize for that. And right now it's just life took over, and I had to take care of myself. I had to take care of my family, and quite frankly, my mental health was blowing up, and some days in a good way and some days in a not good way. For those of you who are new here, welcome. But for those of you who don't know, my full-time job is I'm a mental health therapist, and I specialize in trauma and anxiety. And not only that, but I have anxiety, and sometimes it just takes over and I can't do anything about it, and that's partially what happened. So just kind of gonna recap the last 2 years for you guys, so that you guys kind of have an idea of what was going on and what was happening and all of that. And then I'm also going to kind of just lay out the dynamic for what this year's BooBash is going to be, because I'm going to need you guys' help. Some videos I'm filming in September, like this one I'm filming before we go to Italy, but after we come back from Italy, I'm going to be filming these a week ahead of time. So you guys, I'm going to be asking for audience participation this year. Part number 1, what's been going on. So when I was prepping for this year's BooBash, I looked back over 2022's BooBash and Holiday Hoopla, and I realized that, you know, I got BooBash done, but then Holiday Hoopla took over, and I did like 5 or 6 videos, and then I just vanished and went MIA. And I know that's kind of like, what the heck, where'd you go, what's going on? So for those of you who may not know, my full-time job is I'm a mental health therapist. This is something I do for fun, and life took over, and quite frankly, my anxiety was up and down, in addition to just a lot of life events going on. And so I really just want to reinforce with everybody that it's okay to take time off when you need it. And quite frankly, I hit pause on all the extracurriculars in my life and was just focusing on life. Kittens, they're mewing. They don't like being alone, and they can't see me because they're on the other side of the couch, and so they're bananas. So anyhow, let's go back to like November of 22 after BooBash, because I feel like you guys are probably curious of like, why did I do like 5-6 videos of Holiday Hoopla and then just poofed. So first off, in November of 22, I spent 2 weeks at Disney World. I don't know why I did it. I'm crazy. I'm so thankful that I did it, and I had a blast, but at the same hand, living out of a suitcase for 2 weeks was insane. So 2 of my really, really close friends still live up in Pittsburgh, and we wanted to do a girls trip, so we planned like a week-long girls trip and did Disney together with the 3 of us. But then as soon as they left, 2 days later was an agency retreat at Disney World for the travel agency that I'm with. And so that was just back to back. So instead of like flying from Orlando to Houston back to Orlando, I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge for a couple days and just had a blast. And there's a sushi roll. And so that was crazy. It was fun, but it was a lot. I wasn't at home for 2 weeks. I was eating park food nonstop. Like, I'm pretty sure breakfast for me those 2 weeks consisted of coffee and either a Mickey cake pop or a Mickey Rice Krispie treat. It was a lot. There's a lot of sugar involved. So after that, then we spent Thanksgiving at Margaritaville, and it was something that we had done ever since we had moved, and it was a chance for us to just get away, a couple days away kind of thing, but still it's time away from home. December came and we went home for a week for Christmas. We do this every year. It's Christmas. We can't not see our families and everything. So we did all of that. Then in February, we did another long weekend at Margaritaville for Valentine's Day. I wouldn't recommend it. It wasn't the greatest, but it was still a chance to get away. Now the Margaritaville that we go to is the Margaritaville in Houston at Lake Conroe. It is about 30 to 40 minutes away from us, so it's nice for like a quick weekend, but it's, you're far enough away but that you're not worried about home, but yet you're close enough you can come home if you need to. So we did all of that. Then in March, we went up to Dallas to see a Penguins game, and it was eventful, to say the least. This is kind of really where the start of like my anxiety spike happened for me. On the way up there, one of our tires blew, and as we were getting off the side of the road, the wheel came off of the tire and we ended up completely off the road. Now, thankfully, we were both okay. Nobody was hurt. Everything was okay. But it was an event that we don't expect, and it was terrifying for us. And so that really was kind of where like my anxiety in the last couple of years kind of started spiking, and I just needed to take some time for myself. Because of that, actually resulted in us getting a new car. So it had a good outcome. I love my new car, but it was a lot going on. It was a lot to try to navigate and figure out and do. After that, in April, actually end of March, I stepped off of a curb the wrong way and I actually broke my foot. So I was in a boot for a few weeks. It was a stress fracture, so it really wasn't huge, but I still had to like let it heal and everything. But then for Greg's birthday, we went to Disneyland. Luckily, and funnily enough, Disney World and Disneyland are equal distances from where we live. So from Houston, you fly 2.5 hours over to Orlando, but then it's like a 40-minute drive to the park. We fly like 3 hours over to Anaheim, and then it's a 15-minute drive to Disneyland Park. So it's nice because we can go to both parks pretty evenly. So we did Disneyland for a week to celebrate Greg's birthday. It was both of our first time together at Disneyland, and it was awesome. We had a blast. Then after that, one of Greg's family members got sick, so we flew up and we did a couple days in Pennsylvania just to spend some time with that family member to make sure that, we could be there with family if we needed to. So that was a whirlwind trip. Then in May got crazy, let me tell you. So first off, in May, I flew to Nashville for 5 days for a travel conference. Then I flew home for about a week, and then Greg and I flew to Daytona Beach for Welcome to Rockville because two of our favorite bands were playing. Actually, my favorite band and his favorite band were the headliners, and then just a bunch of different bands that we've always wanted to see were also playing, so we did that. And then, this is another one of those, I don't know why I did what I did. There was a mini retreat in Disneyland with the travel agency, and so I literally flew with Greg from Orlando to Houston. He left and went home. I stayed in the airport for about 4 hours and then flew from Houston to Disneyland. And I did that. And I'm just like, why did I do that? I'm crazy. So then I did like 3 or 4 days in Disneyland and then flew home. Then in June, I went to Disney World again for 5 days. I got an opportunity to do a ship tour of the Disney Wish. Stayed an extra couple of days into Disney World as well. My mom flew down and we got to do it together and spent some mom-daughter time to Disney World. June was also when we got the new car. So we had basically built and ordered it it got delivered, so we got the new car then. Then in July, I went to North Carolina into the Outer Banks for a week with some of my girlfriends. That was amazing, but the trip home was insane. So on the trip home, I was supposed to fly from Norfolk, Virginia to DC airport, and then from DC airport to Houston. Well, what ended up happening is the flights got all mixed up. There were issues or whatever. So my flight got changed. I was then changed over to a flight that went from Norfolk to Newark and then to Houston. Get up to Newark, flight was delayed for 6 hours. And then they come and they board everybody, we're waiting another hour, and then they come on to the like overhead speaker and they say that the pilots have timed out and our flight is being canceled. So thankfully, United put us all up into hotels for the night, so it was okay. But then they didn't put me on a direct flight from Newark to Houston. They then told me that I was going to have a connection to Charlotte, North Carolina back to Houston. And I'm like, I literally just flew from Norfolk, Virginia up to New Jersey to fly back down to North Carolina to fly over to Houston. It was insane. So there wasn't any direct flights from Newark to Houston that day, so I had to do it. Flew down to Charlotte. Well, then the flight got canceled and they were gonna put us out of a connection out of Dallas to Houston. And I was kind of like, heck no. So I spent like close to 30 some hours in an airport. I was done. I was just done. And so luckily I called United and I was like, look, this is what you guys have done to me. I've literally flew from like Norfolk to Newark to Charlotte, and now you want to add another connection. And thankfully they found one that was leaving like in an hour straight to Houston. I was able to get home, not a problem, things like that. But it was a lot. It was a headache. It was everything. And there's Mochi. Also, I forgot to throw in there as well that May, we also had to say goodbye to Muffin. Her health started declining, things like that. And so with the vet, we made the decision to say goodbye to her, just for the best thing that we could have done for her. And so during that time, like, I kind of checked out mentally because we were grieving and we had to heal, we had to grieve. You got to go through the process, you know. If you've been around my channel or my Instagram or anything, you know that, you know, our pets are our babies and all of that. So that was difficult. So that's kind of why, like, during those times I kind of did all of those trips, was to also heal and to grieve, and just I needed to check out. Then in August, I flew up to Pennsylvania for a bridal shower for one of my friends. And then we went to Dallas for a long weekend and saw Metallica. So when Metallica was doing like their limited tour, we went and we did that, and it was like the 2-day concert and whole 9 yards. So we got to do that. Between August and September, I actually switched practices as well. So not only was I doing all of this traveling, but I also switched jobs, which is a lot, especially whenever you do what I do. Because in the mental health field, like, it's not just me switching a job. It's not like I have an office job where I just put in my notice and I go. I have a duty of care to make sure that all of my clients are taken care of as well. So not only was I juggling me switching, but I was also juggling making sure that all of my clients were taken care of and were getting the care that they needed and were referred and transferred or whatever they needed. On top of it all. So that was a lot. So September I started my new job. But September, Greg and I also went downtown Houston for a night or two, and we saw Guns N' Roses, which was pretty cool. And then we also, with the new job, just the stress of everything, I booked us a weekend. We did a weekend in Margaritaville. Now thankfully it was only like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not too long, but it was a lot. It was just things that we were doing. Things were pretty calm. I was getting into my new practice, new routine, whole 9 yards. And then in November, we went up the first weekend of November to Dallas, and we saw Queen with Adam Lambert, which was amazing. It was kind of a dream come true concert for us. And we were second row. We got confetti from the confetti cannon. We had VIP, so we got like, we got to see just all kinds of memorabilia. Like we got to see the yellow jacket that Freddie Mercury has worn, and just amazing stuff like that. Then for Thanksgiving that year, we did our first cruise out of Galveston on the Harmony of the Seas. Harmony got moved the summer of 23, and Galveston Port is about an hour and 15-minute drive for us, so it's not too bad. And we just have kind of decided ever since then, like, we're gonna do a cruise for Thanksgiving because it's easy to get down there. We can't fly home and be with our families, and Thanksgiving had always been a huge holiday for my family to get together, so we decided to do that. And so we were on Harmony for a week at Thanksgiving. Then in December, we went home for the week for Christmas. Things at work are kind of getting stable. Things are, you know, the anxiety's finally settling. Like, I'm feeling settled with everything. And then in January, we went on the maiden voyage of the Icon of the Seas. If you followed my Instagram, I was all over it with all my stories and everything. I'm actually going to be talking about it more this BooBash and everything as well, but we got to do that for a week, and that was amazing. It was an experience all in and of itself, basically, which was really cool. Then in February, we adopted Sushi and Mochi. They were 4 months old when we adopted them. They were born September of 23, and, or no, they were 4 going on 5 months, I should say. And so we brought them home, and we've just been adapting to life with them and adjusting, because it takes animals months to get comfortable and adjust and, you know, feel comfortable in a home. So we've just been doing that, and that's where I've been. So 2023 really truly by and large was a whirlwind of a year, and so I needed to check out. I needed to take care of myself. I needed to get, you know, my mental health and my anxiety back on track and everything, and things have been amazing and good, and so I'm back. Also, this BooBash, this fall, we are talking about all things cruising, and the reason being is because the end of September and the beginning of October, we will be on a Mediterranean cruise, and we are spending 2 weeks in Italy and Greece. I am going to be sharing a lot of this with BooBash and all of that, but also what are things you guys want. So here's where the audience participation component comes into play. What are things you guys want to know or want to see about different ships? So Harmony of the Seas is one type of ship. Now, we have been on 3 different ship classes at this point in time. We've been on the Oasis class with Royal Caribbean, Icon class with Royal Caribbean, and by the time this video is going up, we will have been on a Quantum class with Royal Caribbean, which is Odyssey, which is what we're doing in the Mediterranean. What do you guys want to know about cruising, Royal Caribbean, different ports, different ships, food, entertainment, nightlife, activities, whole 9 yards? What are the things you guys are wanting to see? I am planning on doing a ship comparison video this month, talking about just the different classes, the different foods, the different ports. But what are things that you guys want to know or want to see? Put them in the comment section below, or message me over on Instagram, and I will put those and incorporate those into the videos. So probably the first week of BooBash is going to be pre-filmed, just because we don't get back until the first week of October. So I'm gonna have all those days ready to go. And then after that, I'm gonna be filming on a week-by-week basis. So things will be getting much more live-ish. Like, it won't be live, but it won't be completely pre-filmed. So what are the things you guys wanna see? What do you wanna know about cruising? What do you wanna know about Royal Caribbean, about Italy, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, different ports, flying, all things travel, all things cruising? So leave those comments. I'm so excited to get back into this. I am so excited to show and share with you guys the new things this month. I've got some fun ideas in the works, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.